Hey, what's going on? This is E. Jones, reporting live from Hofstra University, about to sit down with my boy, Craig Speedy Claxton, the legendary player and coach of Hofstra University. Big shout out to all of our past interviewees, Tom Kachowski, Derman Player, and the first person to break 10,000 views, my main man, Tiny Morton. Make sure you log on to thebottomtothetop.hoops.com. Check out all of the stuff we got going on. Big shout out to super producer Elvis, and big shout out to City Legends. You watching from the bottom to the top hoops. What's going on? It's your boy E. Jones here at Hofstra University, sitting down with the legend, Hofstra University's finest, Hall of Famer, number retired, player, former NBA player, coach now at Hofstra University, Speedy Claxton, man. Pleasure to have you on the show.
No doubt, man. Good to be here.
Yeah, man. So on the show, we like to basically talk about some things in terms of bringing them kind of where it started at for you, and then bringing them to current in terms of what you're doing with coaching, and touch a little bit on your journey in becoming an NBA player, which is, we know, one in a million, and being able to accomplish that. So it started out for you first at Christ the King, correct?
Yeah.
And talk a little bit about the players you played with at Christ the King, what your experience was like, who coached you. What was that like playing in the CHSA during that time?
Oh, it was dope. I mean, back then the city was flooded with.
Who were you playing against?
Chutney Gray.
Rice.
Bernard Barrows at St. Raymond's.
I
mean, you had Kevin Morris at Life Center. Like he was going through some. Brendan Dunlop at Mount St. Michael.
Did one conference, and it was like talent was concentrated in New York City. And what we talk about a lot now is that a lot of kids are looking to further their college careers, and even now in high school, looking to go to school outside of the city, which you're finding in prep schools, which could be a great opportunity. But why was it important for you to be in that conference in terms of where you were in your mindset? What made you go to Christ the King?
Well, I knew it was going to be, I was going to get good basketball experiences. Christ the King was known as a basketball powerhouse, so I was going to be playing against some high-level competition.
Right.
And I was going to be playing alongside some good players as well.
Who was on your team? I mean, I know, but we got to educate the general fan and the viewer, just to let them know the credibility and the people that you were playing with and against. So we talked a little bit about against.
Well, first name people recognize is Lamar Odom.
Oh, okay, LO. We remember a young, slinky LO.
Rhode Island.
Big shout out to LO.
Played in the NBA for a bunch of years.
Champion.
McDonald's All-American, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Secondly was Eric Barkley.
Yep, another NBA player.
Same accolades, played in the NBA, went to St. John's.
Yep.
McDonald's All-American. Then it was also Ira Miller, who's probably, when we was young, at that time, was probably the best out of all of us.
Wow, that's my man too. Big shout out to Ira.
He was actually getting recruited at the highest level. Like he had letters from North Carolina and all that type stuff. But then we kind of just, the three of us blossomed late, and we kind of surpassed him in high school. But he was probably the best out of all of us.
Right.
And then our fifth guy was Kamal McQueen, who went to St. Peter's.
Okay. So on your starting lineup, you have 5 Division I guys.
Yeah.
So now, with it being a coach, and we'll get into more of your coaching later, just think about what we're talking about. You have 5 Division I guys on one team. Now in the CHSAA.
Yeah.
So
you're lucky if you have 2.
So that's
2 is great.
That's considered a good team now.
Yeah.
So what's obvious is there's a drop off in, maybe it's talent, maybe it's the coaching on the AAU or whatever, but some of it is just kids are not staying home.
They don't. Like the kid Hamid Diallo, he's from New York, but he was at Putnam Science.
Yeah, and that's a kid who was a McDonald's All-American type talent. He's in the NBA, and there's a bunch of guys now who are spread out throughout the country. And listen, everybody makes the best decision for them.
Yeah.
We just want to be able to say, I mean, I specifically and personally have a deep-rooted connection to New York City basketball.
As do I.
So I want to make sure that we're giving information, and maybe we can turn that just to educate people.
Yeah.
So, championship.
A lot of times people keep saying that New York basketball has fallen off. I don't think it has fallen off a little bit, but I think a lot of our talent, like you said, leaves and go play.
Tom Kachowski spoke to that. I had him on the show, and Tom said to me specifically, it's not as bad as people make it out to be.
No.
So the education for the viewers is New York City basketball is not in dire straits. We're still the Mecca. We still have talent, but we just got to get our kids to stay home.
Yeah.
So now, if we can get the 5th and 6th and 7th grade kids now watching the show to say, man, I want to be the next person to carry on the mantle. And that's a part of what we have as a bigger picture to say, can we get the top kids in the city to kind of get reinvested in our city and say, you know what, we're going to be the next person to carry the torch and say, these are the top 10 kids in the city and we're staying home.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what's going to take. I
Yeah.
mean, it's going to take somebody like Shamari Pons going to St. John's again.
Yep.
That's definitely going to help. But we do got to keep our kids home, man.
Yeah, and you know, at the end of the day,
back
the landing spots in New York, it's important for Hofstra to be good. It's important for St. John's to be good. It's important for Fordham to be good. Because, again, it's a trickle-down effect. It's important for the Knicks to be good.
that's a fact.
And I was at the game yesterday, so, I got a whole bunch of opinions about that, but, we'll get into that.
That's what I'm saying. Even the Knicks go into this whole New York way of thinking.
And that's the thing about it. Think about it. When we were watching basketball,
the Knicks was good back then.
the Knicks were good. The city was popping. There was a buzz about basketball, and it was a sense of pride.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you got kids, no disrespect, that are going and seeking opportunities in Atlanta and Chicago.
Minnesota, like, it's just...
But I'm just saying, even for high school, kids are seeking to go to high schools out, and I have relationships with coaches all around the country, as do you. And if it's the right fit for a kid needs to leave New York for whatever situation, don't have any problem with that. But when they start leaving in droves, I feel like it becomes a situation.
I think if you could play, you're going to be seen regardless of where you at.
So repeat that for me.
If you could play, you're going to be seen regardless of wherever you play. That's a fact.
Because a lot of the times people think that manufacturing, whatever it is around the kid, can players play. So I always tell people, if you nice for the Bronx, you nice for Brooklyn.
Exactly.
If you nice for Brooklyn, you nice for ATL. Talent travels.
If you nice, you nice.
And if you not,
you not.
yeah. So getting back to kind of, okay, you guys win city championship, right? And Christ the King. Did you win a state as well?
Nah, we ran.
Oh, you had that face
We probably should have.
Okay.
But we ran into a guy by the name of Stephon Marbury.
Oh, man. Okay. Y'all
and
faced
we all
Steph.
know Steph
Oh, yeah.
was probably the pinnacle of what a New York City guard is.
Yes, man. Big shout out to Steph. So now, where's your recruitment like in terms of your senior year? You're figuring out where you want to go, and why did you choose Hofstra, and what were the choices?
Well, I committed in the early signing period.
Oh, okay.
And I just had a great relationship with Coach Wright, who was the head coach at the time.
Jay Wright.
And his staff. He's currently at Villanova right now. But they did an excellent job of recruiting me. They made me feel like they really wanted me.
Okay.
Everywhere I played, they was there. I mean, and the way recruiting is now, it's a little different. But like, I used to play at Hoffman Park. They was there.
Okay.
Wherever it was, even if it was in the Boys and Girls Club, they was at every one of my games. So they made me feel like I wanted, and that was the most important thing that weighed on my decision.
Okay.
So you go somewhere I felt like they really wanted me and needed me.
And then also, to that point, you committed early, and that's what I tell kids too. If you got a good fit, and you can kind of play that senior year and just have fun and enjoy it, it's some pressure that was probably taken off.
Oh
right?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, because if you don't commit early, And then you put pressure on yourself, like, oh my God, I gotta perform well because then I'm gonna lose my scholarship, or nobody's gonna come see me play.
Yeah.
And I've seen it happen both ways. Like a guy commit early, and then might have committed to a lower school, and then had a great year. Now some big schools.
Pete Mulligan was on the show.
Yeah.
He had the same situation and kind of spoke to that. So now you go to Hofstra, absolutely explodes, right? You guys, and obviously you were able to make it to the NBA, which was an amazing feat. You know, just able to accomplish some, and 2-time player of the year here, right? Yeah. 98 and 2000. Okay, so talk a little bit about your teammates. I know the backcourt was crazy. Yeah. You had Rick here, right?
That team was special. We had a number of players that could have went higher, but chose to come smaller.
Jay Wright.
Yeah, he was. I mean, Roberto Giddens was getting recruited by Providence, St. John's, a lot of Big East schools. Same thing with Norman Richardson, and actually same thing with myself. I was getting recruited by St. John's, Seton Hall.
Now Charles came later?
Charles came later, after all of us.
Okay.
But we laid the foundation for him.
Man, yo, just thinking about it, Norm made it to the league too.
Yeah, Norm played in the league. I mean, listen, if you really want to go to the NBA, when you make your college choice, you have to make a smart decision.
Was that in your like? Was that in your like wheelhouse of like, this is what a goal of mine is, like a realistic goal?
It was maybe not a realistic goal, but it was a goal.
Okay.
It was a goal. Okay. I knew I wanted to play basketball after college. I knew I wanted to play professionally.
Okay.
So I knew I had to put myself in a good situation in order for that, because I have it like anything, to get a job you have to have a resume.
Yep.
So I had to have some good numbers on my resume in order to play professionally.
Right. So you came in Hofstra your first year. You started your first year?
Halfway through my first year.
Okay, made you earn it?
Yeah, they had a senior point guard that was ahead of me, and I kind of learned from him. And then halfway through the year, our scoring guard got hurt, and then he played both of us together, and then we played so well together that once the scoring guard came back, he kind of just kept me in the starting lineup.
So now that's where it kind of takes off for you. You're going into your sophomore year. That summer, you feeling like what? What's your mindset going into your sophomore year?
The knock on me was I had to improve my jumper.
Okay.
I wasn't a great jump shooter. You know, my name's Speedy, so I was good at getting to the basket.
Right.
But to take my game to the next level, I had to add a jump shot. So that's something I went to work.
Let me stop you for 1 second. We talk to kids all the time, Speedy, about how to get better. We talk about the ability to work on your deficiencies. It's not personal. When they said that, you couldn't shoot. Yeah. It was just, you know what? It was a fact. How you received it and what you did after is important. The implementation is what I want to just focus on for 1 second, because you spoke to it. You said, they said this was the knock on me. I went to work.
Oh, yeah.
It's one, okay, I took it. This is what I need to do.
Accepted it.
Accepted it.
I'm going to prove them wrong that next year.
Exactly. So the next year,
got a little bit better at jump shooting, but the way our team was set up, it was more beneficial for me to be taking the ball to the basket and creating it. So Coach Wright still didn't want me to shoot his jump shots. He was like, nah, get to the basket, get to the basket.
They couldn't stop you going to the basket.
Yeah, so I had to play to my strengths.
Right.
That was better for the team. So
along with catching a couple of alley-oops and all that.
I was a little high riser back then.
Okay. So, I saw the video too of you dunking a couple of months back. You had to show the young boys you still had it.
You know, every year I gotta throw down at least one dunk just to let them know I can still dunk.
We won't get that on camera today. So to that point, you had a great sophomore year.
Yeah, one player of the year. So
you win player of the year as a sophomore. Are the NBA scouts calling? Are they checking? Are they coming to the games? Do you feel like now I'm ready?
No, not at all. I mean, I got one player of the year, but then it went to my head. Early success went to my head. And I had a horrible junior year. Horrible junior year. I was out partying and not focused.
But listen, the transparency is important, because kids are having a good freshman year in high school and they feel like they've arrived. They stop working. So you're proof positive to say, listen, success can change you.
Oh, yeah.
Attention can change you.
It sure can.
And it happened to you, and then you didn't play well your junior year.
I had a horrible junior year. I probably made second team all conference.
Coming off being player of the year.
Yeah, coming off player of the year and being first team all conference. And that was just horrible. I mean, my junior, that's when I really sat down.
Let me ask you a question. So, as a, I don't know, 20, 21-year-old kid trying to figure out, how you're going to navigate you had to have some people in your corner that were keeping you kind of even. To say, you know what, this is what you're going to do. Don't worry about it. We're going to get in the lab. It's water under the bridge. Like, did you have people that kind of, like, kept you focused?
Yeah, but a lot of it came within myself. I was self-motivated a lot.
Okay.
But one of the assistants back then, who was an assistant for the Houston Rockets now, Brett Gunning, I owe a lot of my success to him. Because he got me in the gym. He was there with me every day, rebounding, passing to me.
So y'all had like, you know what, we're gonna get back in the boat. We're gonna work at it.
Get back in the lab. My junior year, at the end of my junior year, going into my senior year, I knew that the goal was for me was to play professionally. I was like, you know what? I'm about to be in here 2 days a week. Like, I mean, not 2 days a week, like 2 times a day. Morning and night, I was in the gym. Like I slept in the gym. Like I was like, nah, I gotta make some money. Like this is how I'm gonna feed my family.
Right. So
I gotta approach it that way.
Yeah, and understand this: anything worth having is worth working for.
Oh yeah.
And the kids don't understand when you say out your mouth, "I'm going to the league." They don't really understand what that means.
Yeah.
How difficult it is to actually be. You were the 20th pick overall, coming from Hofstra. Much respect to what has happened here at Hofstra, but that's not something that people would have thought.
Nah, not at all. I mean, listen, just to make it to the NBA is extremely difficult. It's like winning the lotto.
And I did the numbers.
It's funny because
I did the numbers.
I was with my homeboy one day, and this was after I finished playing. I was like this, yo, if I hit the lotto, I'm about to buy me a Lamborghini. He was like, Speedy, you hit the lotto already.
Exactly. So if I'm not mistaken, you played 8 years in the league?
10.
10 years in the league. Okay, you played 10 years in the NBA, won an NBA championship. You won high school championships, you won at the college level, NCAA tournament. I saw that you were a scout for a little while in the NBA.
After I finished playing, I went into the executive side of things and scouted for Golden State Warriors and helped build their first championship team. So
at the end of the day, man, the amount of success that you've had has to be attributed to something going back. Family, young coaches or whatever. What do you attribute your work ethic, your success, all of the things that you've been able to accomplish? Because from the outside looking in, somebody's looking at you saying, man, this guy, you know what I mean? Because you don't really, when you in it, you just like, you doing what you do.
Yeah.
But if I'm looking at it, I'm saying, I'm reading, I'm doing the research before the interview, I'm like, man, I knew about you, but as I do the research, I'm like, man, this guy had an amazing career.
Well, my thing is, I had a plan.
Okay.
And I just kind of stuck with that plan. Every decision I made, I always thought about the future. So even when I made the decision to come here, I was like, you know what? If I come to Hofstra and build Hofstra into a contender, I could always come back here after I finish playing and have a job.
So you was already thinking about that?
Yeah.
Wow, man, foresight.
Yeah.
So now you're a coach. You seeing it you seeing kids that are doing things that you did when you were in high school at the same university. Yeah. And you trying to give them the Rolex child, like, bro, I got the blueprint. You don't gotta do this.
That's my selling points a lot, because I'm like, listen, I have the blueprint.
Yeah.
You just gotta follow it.
Yes. And whether you buy in or not is on you.
It's on you.
So now, somebody who's following the blueprint, Justin Wright Foreman.
Following it to a T.
And he's in NBA conversations, player of the year last year.
Yep.
He has a chance to get it again, putting
He'll
up gaudy numbers. He'll get it, okay. And now, here it is, like, how do you keep him focused on the task at hand? Is he a kid who kind of understands and is willing to put the work in and do the things necessary?
With him, I've already had my hands in his development. Like, he don't need me anymore. Off the road, we had a tough loss last weekend to Northeastern. We got back to campus, maybe like 11 o'clock. As soon as we got back to campus, he was in the gym.
Wow.
That's the type of kid he is. Like, he knows how much work he has to put in, and he's doing it.
And I watched it, man. I remember he was at Christ the King. Then he transferred to construction.
Yep.
And had he stayed at Crested King, he might not be here.
Yeah, you never know. He could be at freaking who knows.
Right. Because I remember he's super explosive, great talent, and the backcourt made his kid that I'm very fond of. My man DeJour Bowie, definitely coming to his own. So you guys have a chance to do some special things. So now, still with the perspective of being a coach now, you still have other dreams and goals in terms of coaching.
Oh yeah, now that I've got my feet wet being an assistant coach, my next dream is to become a head coach.
Okay.
At some point in this thing.
And the work that goes into something like that, people don't understand. They say when you move 6 inches over, it's so much different, right? So being an assistant coach, you know there's duties and responsibilities, but being the head of something is like now you're the guy.
Oh yeah.
Everything falls in your lap.
Decisions. Now, it's no more suggestions. It's decision making time.
And the phone calls, right? Yeah. The parents who the kids not playing.
You damn near another parent for these kids.
And the AAU coaches, why you not playing my guy? All of that stuff. So now the biggest thing for me is when I'm talking about educating people, I just want people to understand, and if you could just share and say, okay, if you were telling a kid who was 12 years old from New York City, this is what you need to do first before you start talking about making it to the league, going to college. Like, what is some of the advice that you can give young kids that are aspiring to be good basketball players, let's just say?
Live in the now.
Okay.
Live in the now. Focus on what's going on in your life right now. Don't be so concerned about the NBA. Live in the present. Be the best player you can right now, and then work as hard as you can, and that's gonna take care of itself.
If you're good enough and you put the work in,
take care of itself.
We switch gears, man, and just try to have a little fun on the show and let people get to see the lighter side of the personality. So, of the players that you've played with, college or NBA, what was your favorite teammate?
My favorite teammate, probably be Chris Paul.
Chris Paul, ooh.
Chris Paul, CP3, like that's still my guy to this day.
Oh like man, playing with Chris Paul.
Yeah, like when we was teammates.
You would think he's from New York.
Yeah,
the way he played, right?
Yeah, the way he handles that rock, he would. But he's a great player, but he's an even better person. Like comes from a
Did
great
he teach you
family.
a lot?
I taught him a lot.
Okay.
That was my young boy.
Okay.
But that's my guy, man. He's a great player. He's gonna be a future Hall of Famer.
Copy.
Couldn't be any happier for him.
Now, is there any moment in your career that you would say like you surprised yourself? A dunk, a buzzer beater, something like that?
Probably winning an NBA championship, man. Like that was so surreal. Like growing up watching, the finals, Magic Johnson and Bird and all those guys.
You was
in the
there.
Finals, and then to have to actually be in it.
Any nerves?
I was nervous before every game I played in. Like,
okay.
That's just how I was.
Right.
But it wasn't because it was the finals or not. I was just nervous.
The NBA finals is like, I played on some big stages in my career, but from a standpoint of being the best league in the world, the biggest stage, the best players, and who did you guys play against in the final?
The Nets, Jay Kidd and them.
And the thing about it was, you didn't just play. You had an impact.
Yeah, like that's
we watching it like my God.
Even crazy. Like I was like, this is wild, man.
Yeah.
I'm not just on the team or playing spotty minutes. I'm actually like playing well.
So I'm assuming the phone calls is coming in, and people want tickets.
It's crazy, man. And then coming, being from New York, and then we played the Nets. It was like, oh my God, the tickets request was insane when we came home.
Everybody want to party.
That's the one thing I'm like, listen, I'm not partying. I'm here on business right now.
Right.
Like I'm gonna be back in about a week after the series, then we can do all the partying.
Let me talk to you a little bit about this as we talk about that. You played for Jay Wright. You played for Greg Popovich.
Yeah.
What were some of the things that you took away from playing for such legendary coaches? 2 Hall of Famers.
Yeah, you didn't even mention Larry Brown. Played for him too. I mean, I was fortunate.
Three Hall of Famers.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to play for some great coaches, and with Pop, he taught me how to prepare for the game.
Yep.
And he's great X and O's and managing different personalities. And then Coach Wright taught me how to approach the game.
Okay.
Like, give your all-out effort every play. Like,
Defense and offense.
Defense and offense. Like you play. Like he really is a big believer in playing every possession like it's the last.
We watch Villanova teams.
They play hard, man.
Like,
hard.
And kids don't understand what. First of all, when did playing hard become a skill?
That's what I want. That's what I want to realize. That's what I want to know. I'm like this. This is crazy.
We all play hard.
Having a motor is a skill set now. Like that was a given back in the days.
That's what I'm saying.
That was a given. You're gonna play hard.
So what was the one thing you took away from Larry Brown?
LB, man, that was my guy, man. I mean,
and he's the king of like play the right way.
Yeah, like he was big on practice, as we all know.
Seems we all
know with the Iverson.
You played with AI too, right?
Yeah, played with Iverson. He was actually not my childhood idol, but because it was kind of similar in age, but he was somebody I looked up to in college. I was a fan of his, and to play alongside of him was special. It was dope.
I watched some games. I'm a Philly fan. I don't know if you know that. And I'm watching AI, and like just the fearlessness that he played with. The one thing but see, the thing about him that I really respected, when you talk about playing, like I don't know what he did off the court. Don't really care, right? Don't know what he did in practice. Debatable, right? But when he got on the court, it was fearlessness, it was effort, and it was a mentality that it wasn't something he turned on and off. It was just who he was.
Yeah, he was a different beast in between those lines.
Yeah.
But you know, that's he played so hard in between the lines. That's probably why he didn't like to practice that much, because he had to rest his body for the games because he knew how hard he went. I mean, he's not that big in stature, so.
Valentine's Day though, man.
Big heart.
Yeah, big heart. So more than anything, man, I want to thank you for taking the time to share with the viewers and talking about your story. Wish you the most success, man.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Yes,
guys.
yes, sir. And hopefully you can get to the NCAAs this year.
I hope so. That's the goal.
And that phone start ringing for some head coaching jobs, right?
I hope.
My man.
I hope.
All right.
Thanks, E. What's good, y'all? This is Speedy Claxton, and you're watching From the Bottom to the Top Hoops.